Hi there, my name is Marina Newington and I help entrepreneurial women do more in less time. And today I am so excited because I'm going to speak to you about Productivity 101. That is right, we are taking the first step to getting productive today. So many people I know are ready to just jump in there and get going. And we are going right to the beginning today and we are going to take the very first step. Now, I have to warn you about this. Oh, before I go on, I want to tell you stay with me to the end because I have not one but two amazing free resources for you today that are going to really help you turbo boost your productivity. They're amazing and I'm so excited to share them with you. But you have to stick around to the end and then I'm going to share them. So let's talk about Productivity 101. Now, listen, I'm really excited for today's topic because it's not sexy and it's not something people usually want to do. What? Yeah, I know. I know that doesn't sound like something you really want to listen to either, and it doesn't sound like something that you want to do. But when you do this one thing, you are going to give yourself so much information about where you are now. You're going to give yourself so much clarity about what direction you're going to go in. It's going to help you so much. It's going to be fantastic. So, listen, there are three basic principles, three basic steps to solving a problem. Okay, number one, you need to know where you are now. Number two, you need to know where you are going. Where do you want to go? And number three, you need to know how you're going to get there. Makes sense, right? That's pretty basic stuff. So, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And where are you going? Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about where you are now. And I want to touch on this point of fantasy versus reality. Okay, we have an idea, we have a vision of where we are now, right? We think we know how we spend our day, how we spend our time, but that may not necessarily be reflective of how we actually spend our time and spend our day. So tell me if any of these sound like you. Okay, number one, you're super busy running from activity to activity and task to task. There aren't enough hours in a day to do all the things that you need to get done. Or number two, you spend all day working and never have time for other things that are important, like your self care or your family. Or number three, you've put aside time for yourself because you're a priority in your own life. Well done, love that, love that. But there's never any time to work on your business to really move it forward. There's only time to put out fires. Do any of these sound like you? Listen, if you are one, two, or three, I have to tell you that it's the way that most of us see ourselves, but it's not necessarily how we spend our days. Now, stay with me here. Okay, I'm not trying to take anything away from you, and I'm not saying that you're not super busy because I know you are. I know you are. That's why you're here with me right now. But could it be that you think you're spending your day doing all these things, but perhaps you got sucked into social media and you spent about an hour doing that? Or maybe you started watching the news. In England, every day here we have new news about COVID and new restrictions and new policies. Maybe you started reading, and the next thing you know, an hour's gone by. Or maybe a good friend of yours called for a chat, or the day was sunny and gorgeous. Like I'm looking outside right now and it is so rainy and horrible. I have to have all my lights on. It's like nighttime in here. Maybe it's sunny and you just had to go for a walk and it took longer than you wanted. Or, you really decided it's time to do some research and you went on the internet and then like you emerge like 2 hours later, like what happened? So listen, there's nothing wrong with doing any of those things. But the thing is that they can take more time than you think that they do. And there's only one way to get to the bottom and discover the truth about what is fantasy and what is reality and how you are really spending your time. And you know what that is? It's tracking it. Okay, so today I'm talking about tracking your time. Did you just moan? Did I just hear, oh, I know, I told you it wasn't sexy. I told you. But it's okay. It's not sexy, but it is so good for you. It's even better than kale, I promise. All right, now listen to me. If you keep track of what you're doing on a daily basis for 1 week, 1 week, okay, so in 1 week, there are 168 hours. Now, if you keep track of those 168 hours, if you look at what you are really doing during that all those hours, you're going to be so surprised to see where you actually spend your time. Okay, this is hugely important information because it lets you know where you are now. There is no judgment here. There is no wrong here. There's no, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing. No, none of that. You are just trying to get a baseline. That's all. That's all. There's no judgment. There is no perfection. It's all good, okay? I promise you, this is all good. All you want to know is where you are now. Because when you know where you are, then you are able to look at where you are going. And I'm going to give you some steps for that right now, okay? So, this is what we're going to do. Um, okay, I'm going to make this easy for you. There are a whole different bunch of apps that you can download to track your time. And if you want to do that, go ahead. But I've put together this little worksheet here, and you can download it at the end of this. And it's just has the days over here and then half-hour blocks going down this way of exactly, what you're doing in each of those half-hour blocks. So here's how it works. I want you to download or print your own tracking spreadsheet, which I'm going to give you at the bottom here. And I want you to start tracking whenever you want. It doesn't have to be Monday morning, okay? You can start at any time. You can start now. Friday's good. Friday's a good day. You can start anytime you want and then just cycle back throughout the week, all right? You can go around back to the beginning. Now, I want you to write down what you're doing in as much detail as you want. So if you want to write work and exercise, they're both fine. But the more detail you give, the more information you have about where you want to go. So you can say, worked on weekly content creation or went to the studio to do yoga. Okay, that's going to give you more information and let you know more about what you're doing and how you're spending your time. Okay, now I want you to think of yourself as a lawyer billing your time to different projects. Okay, so keep the spreadsheet with you. But if you forget to record what you're doing, don't worry. Most people do this 3 to 4 times a day, and you can write approximately. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? This is not about perfection, like I said before. This is about getting a really good and honest picture, all right, of where you are right now. And listen, it's not like this has to be the typical week either, because we all discovered that there is no such thing as a typical week, right? But I want you to keep going for 1 week. Okay, so if it seems particularly atypical, don't worry. There is no such thing as a typical week, okay? We all know this. Life happens, all right? Just record this week in 1 week, okay? Just do this 1 week for me. Okay, now, this part is sexier. It gets better. It's always going to get better. Now that we know where you are, now that you've recorded this 1 week, okay, now we can look at where you want to go. All right, now this bit is a bit more fun. So I want you to break your activities down into categories. So take a look at this spreadsheet and look at all the different categories and put them into how much time you spent on working, how much time you spent on commuting, interacting with your family, sleeping, exercising, doing personal care like showering or doing your hair or that's shampoo or getting it done, doing housework or doing admin, making calls, doing chores, calling the doctor, watching television, reading. You get the idea? Okay. So I want you to look at how much time you spent doing all of these different things and put them into categories that make sense for you. All right, now here's the question. Do these numbers reflect the amount of time that you want to bill to each of these activities? If not, what do you think would be the ideal amount of time? Okay, so you don't have to come up with all the perfect answers right now either. Okay, just start thinking about this. How much time do I want to spend on work? How much time do I want to spend with my family? How many hours of sleep do I want to have every night? How much exercise do I want to do every week? Just think about, these important elements of your life and how much time you want to start devoting to them. Okay, so this is where you're going. Now, one last question. How can you change your schedule to get closer to that ideal? Okay, so try thinking through the next week before you are in it. Okay, before wherever you started, this is going forward into the next week, but before you get into it, and schedule activities you like to spend more time doing. So, what logistically would need to happen for the schedule to become a reality and not a fantasy? Okay, how will you hold yourself accountable for making these changes? Now, I know that this isn't so easy to do, and I'm actually so super excited because later on this month, I'm going to be launching my Path to Productivity, which is a 4-week digital course where I'm going to be taking you through from beginning to end where you are now, where you want to be, and how to get there. And we're going to end up with a plan for all of 2021 of exactly by year, by month, by week, and by day of exactly what you need to do next in order to achieve your goals. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to include a link to that also so you can generate your interest. It's not open yet, but if you click on this link, then I'll know you're interested and you'll be the first to get information about it. But in the meantime, if you need help, okay, I told you I was going to give you 2 free resources. So, number one is this wonderful worksheet to help you track your time. I know it's not fun, but you can do this. I know you can do this. It's going to be so good for you. Trust me, it's going to help you really. Okay, number two is if you need help figuring out which of these activities you need to focus on. Okay, then I have my wonderful free worksheet called 6 Easy Steps to help you get more done in less time. Okay, so if you're trying to take your business to the next level but don't know where to start, you can use the step-by-step process, these 6 steps that I lay out in this worksheet, to identify what the crucial activities are that you must focus on right now to get bigger results in your business in less time. Okay, so all you have to do is follow the steps to get more big wins while spending less time and energy to make them happen. So just click the link for that below. And if you've ever done time tracking before, I want to hear about it. If you've never done time tracking before, I want to hear about it. And if you are going to commit to doing time tracking this week, I definitely want to hear about it. So please let me know in the comments below, and I can't wait to see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye.